Hey guys, and welcome to the trading channel. Welcome to Structure-Based Trading, episode 8, part 2. In today's video, we're going to be going through the pound dollar, the dollar yen, and the dollar Swiss, and I'll be pointing out major levels of structure and these key structure levels out on the daily chart that I'm paying attention to for trading opportunities. Now, I do these videos for a couple of different reasons. One reason is to show you guys how to draw in these major levels of structure and how to use them in order to create more accurate trading strategies, how to use these major levels of structure as conditions in your own personal trading. I also create these videos so that anyone who has major levels of structure in their trading plan can watch these videos and maybe even save some time during their analysis by seeing the major levels of structure that I point out. I do a video like this every week. So if you would like to be alerted about the key levels of structure that I'm paying attention to and how to trade around them, if you'd like to be the first alerted about these videos, and if you'd like to receive other free educational information that I do not share here on YouTube, such as other tutorials and one of my own personal potential trade setups each week, then the way you can do that is by heading over to thetradingchannel.net. There'll be a link in the description below the video. And once you get there, you can go ahead and sign up for the email list right here in order to take advantage of that other free educational material about Forex. So if you're interested to see the key levels of structure that I'll be paying attention to throughout the rest of the week and into next week on these three major pairs, then make sure to keep it locked here through the intro and disclaimer. If you're new, make sure to go ahead and click the subscribe button here on YouTube as well while the intro and disclaimer rolls, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Welcome back, guys. So let's go ahead and start out today's structure-based analysis on the pound dollar. Right now we're on the pound dollar daily chart, and what we're doing is just taking a look at some major levels of structure. We're going to point them out with horizontal lines to see where the market is and where we can expect it to go, along with what kind of opportunities are going to present themselves in those areas and in between those areas. So first off, let's go ahead and point out our obvious level of resistance that the pound dollar has not made it to yet. And that is this level right over here, guys. This is going to be the level in the market that's been tested multiple times as resistance, so we can expect it to be tested as resistance and possibly used as resistance by the market once again. And guys, this is really the first level of resistance that we have. Other than that, there's nothing stopping this market from just continuing the upward momentum that we currently have here on the pound dollar. So what is our next resistance level going to be? Well, we actually can't even see it. It's so far away. We have to zoom the chart out a little bit here. And if you'll notice, it looks to be a pretty major level of support. And although it's not touched multiple times, this is the level that I'm going to use as the major level of support. So now that we have our two levels of resistance, we'll go ahead and point out support. Then we'll talk about how we can take advantage of this market where it is right now. So let's go ahead and point out the support levels. We'll color them blue here on the pound dollar. Oops, I grabbed the wrong color. Here we go. There's blue. And the first level I see is support, guys. I don't know if you saw this level, but for me, this level I've pointed out in blue is going to be a nice level of support. I'm seeing this as a level in the market that was used as support twice back there and resistance once here. And although these were not huge pushes by the market, they're enough for me to consider this a major level of structure because of these multiple touches here in this area. And we could even pull that down just a little bit and say that the market used that level as resistance again here and here. So that's definitely a level of structure that I'll be paying attention to if this market decides to fall as support. And the next level I see here on the pound dollar that could act as support is that level right there. We have these two touches where the market was supported by this level before, and we could even call it 3 and 4 touches where the market has pushed up from this level in the past. So with that being the case, that is definitely going to be an area in the market that I'm paying attention to for long opportunities if we fall to that area. So for the pound dollar, our levels of support if this market decides to fall is going to be 1.306 area and 1.288 area. Our levels of resistance if this market continues higher is going to be 1.343 area and the 1.385 area. Now that we've pointed out these levels, how do we take advantage of this? Well, there's actually a few different ways. I'm going to point out the most simple and easiest ways right now. The easiest way to take advantage of this is to wait for either a pullback to our level of support or a push up to our level of resistance. So what that means is, instead of trying to get involved on a lower time frame where the market is now, waiting for this market to pull back into our previous level of daily structure that's been tested multiple times and give us some kind of entry reason here. For trend continuation traders, this would be a good opportunity to look for your strategy down on a lower time frame at the 1.306 level. Now, as for resistance, as I said, this next level is something we can look at for a counter trend opportunity. And guys, counter trend does not mean that we'll be taking advantage here at this level and expecting this market to push all the way down to our other daily level of support. This market has a lot of momentum to the upside right now, so there's no reason for me to believe that if we touch this level, we could fall all the way back down to this other daily support level. That's something that a lot of traders fail to understand about counter trend trading. When you're counter trend trading, you're not necessarily looking for a move all the way back down. You're looking to grab a small move or a small retracement, because more than likely, considering the trend and the momentum we have, if this market does reach that resistance level, it will consolidate there, possibly push down. I'm not saying that that can't happen, but more than likely, with the momentum we have, if this continues, the market is going to push up to this level, consolidate a bit, and possibly break through that level. Now, where you can take advantage of that as a counter trend trader is during this period of consolidation on a lower time frame. You could get a decent trade to the downside at this level and maybe take profits right in here. Now, again, this is just an example of a counter trend trade, guys, and I'm just trying to point out the fact that counter trend trades do not normally go all the way down to our next level of structure. Those trades are normally a very small trade, and you're looking to really capture a pullback in order to take profit. And so now that we've talked about the simple ways you can take advantage of this, let's talk about a little more of an in-depth and a little more advanced way to take advantage of this situation that we're in right now on the pound dollar. And to do that, we'll have to go down to a smaller time frame. So knowing that this market is in an uptrend, has a lot of momentum to the upside, we've discussed that already today. Knowing that it's in an uptrend and we've just broken above resistance level after resistance level, what we can do is say, you know, I have a long bias on this pair. I'm looking for long trades. Well, now if I go down to smaller time frames, we'll start here on the 4 hour. This is a place where I can actually look for some of those long trades. So instead of waiting on the daily chart to pull back or waiting on a pullback all the way to this level, what we can do now, it's a little bit riskier of an approach, but we can actually look for a pullback just into this previous resistance level here, or even wait for something like a flag pattern or period of consolidation breakout in order to take advantage of this momentum driven move up on the pound dollar and on many other pairs. And I'm sure there are a lot of traders right now that are looking at this market and going, well, we've just made a double top here. I should probably go short. And there's no wrong way of trading if you're doing it profitably. I'm not saying that that's a strategy that could never work, but personally, from my beliefs about structure, I would have no reason to want to go short on this market right now just because of a double top. That's something else I see a lot of beginning traders fail to understand. They trade these double tops and double bottoms or any other type of simple pattern, and they just trade it every time it happens instead of incorporating different conditions into their strategy that can cause it to be much more accurate and profitable. So here on the pound dollar, as I said, in order to take advantage of where we are now, we'll be looking for some long opportunities on the 4 hour and even down on the hourly time frame. And for trend continuation traders here on the hourly time frame, this would be a nice spot to take advantage of this level of support. So waiting for maybe the market to push down to this level and put in an entry reason right at that level of support in order to take advantage of the next move up. So those are some ways we can take advantage of what the pound dollar is doing. And now, since we talked a little bit about that and discussed the pound dollar and the major levels of structure that I'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities, what I'm going to do is go ahead and move on to our next pair. Our next pair today is going to be the dollar yen. Let's go ahead and zoom out the chart, take it back to a daily, make it full screen. And here, guys, as you can see, we've already pointed out our major structure levels here on the dollar yen. I wanted to go over the pound dollar in depth in order to be able to show you guys some really valuable information, but we're going to go a little faster through the rest of the video to keep this video on the shorter side. Here on the dollar yen, you can see that we just broke through a major level of support. The reason this was looked at as a major level of support is because it was tested multiple times as support before. And now that this market has pushed below that level, we can look at it as resistance, but the market has not broken that level in a very impulsive way. We haven't broken down past that level too much. So with that being the case, I'm actually going to be looking for this area to be resistance. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and delete this line, and my resistance level, or the level that I'll be looking at to short the market for the dollar yen, is going to be 111.99 based on this structure based analysis out here on the daily chart. That's my next level of major structure to the upside. And my next level after that, if this market somehow breaks through that level of resistance and continues up, then I'll be looking right around the 114.18 area for my next shorting opportunity. And for longs, in order to look for a potential trade to the upside, I'll be looking down here at the 108.87 area. This market has found support there a couple of different times in the past, looking right here and right here, which is the reason it's going to be an area that I pay attention to for my next long opportunities. And for my next level of support, if the market does manage to break below that level of support and go all the way down to 106.79 area, that will be the next level that I look for long opportunities. Now, while we're in between these two levels, there is still opportunity to trade, as we discussed on the pound dollar, by going down to smaller time frames and checking them out for entries. Now, I'm not going to go through all of my entries and how I trade these smaller time frames with you here, because that would be unfair to the members of the EAP. But if you're interested in learning more about how I trade on these smaller time frames after doing my daily analysis, then I've left a link in the description below the video and a link in the top right hand corner of the screen to the EAP Training Program, and you can click that link if you're interested in learning more about that program. But as I was saying, here on the dollar yen, we can be looking for shorting opportunities based on our daily analysis all the way down to this 108.87 area, and that's what we'll be doing here at the trading channel, unless we get a push up, as I said, some kind of rally above our previous resistance. Now, for our last pair today, we're going to be taking a look at the dollar Swiss. Here we are on the dollar Swiss, and what you see on your screen is actually an example of email analysis, which is a part of the EAP training program. We sent this email analysis out last night, and it ended up being a winning trade, pushing up to hit our first targets pretty quickly. And now we're just waiting. We have our stop loss at break even, and we're waiting to see if this market can move up and manage to hit second targets on this trade. An email analysis is something that's sent to the EAP training program members 3 to 5 times a week in order to help them understand the strategies that are taught on the EAP members page. So let's go ahead and delete all of this and zoom out to the daily chart and take a look at some of these key levels of structure here on the dollar Swiss. Alright, so here we are on the daily chart, and as you can see, we were looking at this being a level of support. And if I zoom back down to the 4-hour chart, you can probably see why I was interested in this as a trading opportunity. This market had broken above not only that daily level of support, but also broken above these structure highs, making new highs, and then pulled back into that daily level, which gave us a good opportunity to enter that trade in a long position. So back out to the daily chart, and for resistance, we're going to be looking at this level right here. And the reason we're looking at that level as resistance is because if you look back here in the past, we've used this level, the market has used this level as resistance a couple of times there, along with right there. So that's going to be a place we plan to manage this position, meaning that's going to be a place where if the market gets to that level, we will be considering taking off second targets of the current position we're in on the dollar Swiss. And also that'll be a place where we're looking for counter trend opportunities if this market continues to trend in the upward direction on lower time frames. So our first level of resistance on the dollar Swiss is the 0.976 zone, and our second level of resistance is going to be right in there. Again, reason for that is because this is a level that was tested as resistance multiple times back here, along with tested as support right here, giving me a reason to believe that this level could act as major structure the next time it is touched. So our second level of resistance on the dollar Swiss is the 0.984 zone. And as for support, if this market breaks structure and pulls back into the 0.9653 zone, that's where I'll be looking for my first set of long opportunities. And if we break through that level to the downside, the next level of support that I'll be paying attention to for long opportunities on the dollar Swiss is 0.9538 in that zone. So guys, those are the major levels of structure that I'll be paying attention to for trading opportunities on these three major pairs. And also in this video, I shared a few ways that I take advantage of these markets even when the market is not at one of these levels of structure, but instead in between these key levels. If you found this to be valuable information that helped your trading, then make sure that you go ahead and click that like button for me and share this video to support the channel. If you enjoy this style of trading and you want to learn more about some of the strategies I use and techniques I use in order to trade the markets, then you can do so by signing up for the EAP Training Program. Again, those links are going to be in the description in the top right hand corner of your screen. Make sure to sign up for the email list in order to receive other free educational content from us that we do not post here on YouTube. And finally, make sure that you subscribe here on YouTube so you're alerted about our next structure-based trading videos, along with other educational content about Forex trading. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I wish you the best of luck on all your future trades, and I'll talk to you guys next time.